So I hope everybody is ready to see what I think about my talismans. As usual, I'm just gonna talk through them, see what's going on with them, see if we got any particularly awesome looking ones. Got a fair amount of red at the bottom there, so let's see. Recoil down with heroics doesn't sound amazing. Recoil down is also very specific to bowguns, so that's really limited. No slots, not great. Flinch free, love to have at least one of those as a melee person, but it doesn't really need to be on your talisman because it's a really easy thing to slot in. And no slots on this talisman, not great. Rarity 3, we're just getting a bunch of low rarities right here, and y'all know how I feel about resistances. Paralysis resist, blight resist, who cares? Bad talisman. But this is kind of interesting. As someone who likes free meal a lot, the triple single slot means you can make this a speed sharpening 3, for example. Speed sharpening is very good for a lot of builds, and getting that to 3 with Hellfire Cloak 1, not the worst. Not great either, but usable if you're trying to make a Hellfire Cloak build, because this at least opens up a armor slot for you. I don't like Item Prolonger. I just don't like that item, or that, skill at all. And Thunder Resist is bad, so despite a 3-tier slot on here, I don't think this is a good talisman. Recoil down again, this time with Evade Extender. This is a little better than the other one, just because Evade Extender is so good. Even on a lot of gunner builds, it's very good, and Recoil down 2, is going to be a quality of life skill. In fact, pretty good quality of life skill. If you're playing a lot of high recoil bow guns, it's actually really nice to have. Only a tier 1. This could have rolled better, but it's not terrible. Okay, normal wrap it up 1. I wish this was 2. The fact that it only has tier 1 slots on it, 3 tier 1 slots is good. But if this was a normal wrap it up 2, this would actually be like super usable, pretty decent. As is, it's okay. You can get like all recoil downs or something in the tier 1 there. To kind of round out this talisman a bit better, but I still wish it was more than 1 tier of the normal wrap it up 2. I know that can roll as two skill ups. A lot of recoil down today, Jesus. Recoil down and punishing draw is going to do nothing for you. Punishing draw is about your draw attack, which you kind of need a weapon, a melee weapon for. So, a non-bow here. Tremor resistance is kind of useless. Flinch free is good, but again, tier 1 gem. Not really worth using here. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't like affinity sliding very much. I feel like it's way too limited in this game. Most of the combat zones aren't going to give you areas to slide with. And hammer is really the only thing that gets, like, automatic sliding with the weapon out in this game. So, not super good. Diversion can be cool, and the tier 3 is good, but not really usable, if you ask me. Tremor resistance, flinch free again. It's rolled better this time, but still the same bad talisman. Okay, sleep attack is harder to get because status ailment attack ups are tier 2 gems. Poison resistance on this makes it kind of bleh. So if this had better slots, it would still be usable, but only 1 slot with the poison resist means it's kind of low power for what you're looking for. Bad talisman, water attack, elemental attacks are all tier 1 slots, so if you really want it, it's super easy to gem for. So this is pretty bad. Again, item prolonger and an elemental attack, pretty bad. The 3 tier 1s means you could at least really power this one up for that ice attack up, but still not really worth it. Wall runner, power prolonger. I like power prolonger a lot. I think that's a really good skill, but no slots on here. And Wall Runner is really niche, so kind of hard to use this one. I wouldn't suggest it. Or another red one with Affinity Sliding. It really loves Affinity Sliding. This is actually okay, though. 2 reload speeds is enough to get you the bow thing. The bow automatic coat loading, which is really good as a bow build. And the fact that it has a tier 3 slot on it means you can slot in any of the normal rapid up, spread up, or pierce up gems into it to make this actually a pretty good talisman. This one's usable. For sure. Carving Pro does nothing. If you're trying to carve in the middle of a bunch of guys hitting you, you're doing something wrong. And recovery speed is bleh. The good slots on this, but the skills that are inherent are useless. So you're not turning this into a build at all. You think you're using a reload 2 with a 3 slot in it? Yeah. This is totally usable. And Affinity Sliding, it's not going to come up much, but it might sometimes. You might get lucky. Botanist with reload speed. Botanist is fine for a gathering build, but you can get like Botanist 4 pretty easily on a high tier talisman, so this is pretty bad. Windproof only matters in like 1 hunt in this whole game, and even then, not enough to bother getting. And y'all know how I feel about resistances. Pretty bad talisman. Rapid Morph is good. Rapid Morph 1, I think, is actually like kind of ideal, arguably, on a talisman. Because there's a really good Rapid Morph 2 helmet. But you can roll this way higher, get a bunch of slots, get a bunch more out of your talisman than this. So, not great. Evade Window 2 is pretty cool. With wide range, not a very good combo, but Evade Window is a powerful skill. If you really are just trying to get Evade Window, you could use this. The tier 1 slots means you could put some speed grinder in there or something. Speed sharpening. So, usable, not great. Rapid Morph 2, Muck Resistance, not very good. The Rapid Morph is the wrong type you want, unless you're trying to make a full Rapid Morph talisman, in which case you need a better slot. Pretty bad. Counter-Strike is a weird one. The fact that this has Handicraft on it is kind of amazing. I really wish this was Handicraft and like Attack Up or something instead of Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike is a weird skill that I don't like very much. But Handicraft can be really good. And no slots means this is a very limited talisman, so not great, but yeah. Bad. Wall Runner Botanist, bad. This is kind of interesting. Heroics 3 is not something you see a lot. You could make some really weird build if you're trying to do a Heroics build. This could be pretty good. Protective Polish is also a very powerful skill in this game. You could use this, but the no slots on it means you must be doing something very specific. AKA a very specific Heroics build. But not great because of the no slots. Bludgeoner 2 with Master Mounter. I don't like Master Mounter, but Bludgeoner has some pretty interesting builds you can do around it. So this is usable. Bludgeoner 3, if this is rolled Bludgeoner 3, it'd be even better. Or a 2 slot to make it Bludgeoner 3. Like a 2 and a 1, but this is usable if you don't have something better yet. Another Botanist with a resist, whatever. Another Master Mounter. The Evade Window, still good, but I really don't like Master Mounter. Rapid Morph 1 with Tremor Resist. The Rapid Morph 1, again, is good. Tremor Resist, not so much. Flinch Free 2, Counter-Strike 2. You only really need Flinch Free 1. If you're trying to do Counter-Strike, this could be cool if it had some slots on it, but kind of underpowered. Ice Attack Bludgeoner. You can make this Ice Attack 5, Bludgeoner 2, which is kind of interesting. But probably not worth running unless you're doing something very specific and niche. Thunder Attack with Divine Blessing. I like Divine Blessing, but this is rolled a little bit low power to be usable, especially with the Thunder Attack on there. Don't like Resistances. Not worth it. Okay, Bubbly Dance 2 with a tier 3 slot is decent if you're trying to make a Bubbly Dance build. That tier 3 slot can get you anything you want, which is nice. The Ice Resistance isn't great, but this could be usable for a Bubbly Dance build. Critical Eye 1 with a tier 3. If this was Critical Eye 2 or 3, I know Critical Eye can roll way higher. This would be usable, but unfortunately this is just kind of underpowered for what you want. Oh, these reds are bad. Carving Pro recoil down with a couple okay slots. Carving Pro is so bad and it's taking up so much of the value of this talisman. It's just plummeting it. Punishing Draw with Offensive Guard. No slots means this isn't usable, but I'm trying to think if there would be a good Offensive Guard Punishing Draw build. Punishing Draw isn't really used on any of the shield weapons, I don't think, so unfortunately not very good. Windproof we talked about, bad. Don't like resistances either. All resistances. Bludgeoner and Ice Attack. This is just like that other one, but worse. Bubbly Dance 2 again, this time with Load Shells. Worse slot on the top, but if you were specifically trying to do Bubbly Dance with Gun Lance or Charge Blade, this one might have a better value for you. The tier 1 slot is still useful. And getting Load Shells might be all you wanted out of the tier 3 slot anyway, which would make this slightly better value for you. Rapid Morph 2, Paralysis Resist. There's way better Rapid Morph things in here, especially without resistances on them. Recovery Speed, Blight Resist, low power, bad. Spare Shot is really good. Dragon Resist, who cares, and no slots. Best talisman we got today was this guy, which is pretty decent. The Affinity Sliding is just kind of a bonus on it, but that was a bad pull overall. Oof. A bunch of time away and we got a really bad pull. Yikes. Hi everyone, I just wanted to invite you to come hang out with me on twitch.tv/thatneilj, where you can watch these openings happen live. Sometimes I'll open up my lobbies to do hunts with viewers, and you can even choose which weapon I'm going to go to each hunt with. Thanks.